who were the standout players from the first week of the Rugby Championship. The Rugby Championship exploded back onto our screens this weekend as New Zealand dispatched Australia in Sydney and South Africa saw off Argentina in Port Elizabeth. Following some breathtaking rugby, we've taken a closer look at 5 players who stood out from the action, with all 4 nations represented. Liam Squire was under pressure coming into this game, having been picked to start at blindside flanker in place of Jerome Kaino in his first All Blacks appearance since November 2016. New Zealand flanker Liam Squire scored the first try in their 5,434 victory over Australia in Sydney. He responded with a magnificent display, excelling with ball in hand. He made 8 tackles, considerably less than his back row colleagues Sam Cane and Kieran Reid, who completed 21 and 15 respectively, but he roamed around the wide channels and made several monstrously effective carries. Squire illustrated his deceptive pace and physicality several times throughout the 5,434 victory, gaining a phenomenal 104 metres, second only to wing Rieko Ione. The Wallabies could not contain Squire's powerful and pacey carries. After just 5 minutes of the match, Squire showed great speed to burn past Wallaby centre Samu Kerevi on the outside and race into the corner for the All Blacks' first try, while an exceptional burst in the second half paved the way for Ben Smith's score. His power and pace were a constant threat throughout the encounter, and as head coach Steve Hansen commented afterwards, Squire is a pretty phenomenal rugby player when he gets it right, and tonight he got it right. It was lovely to watch. High praise indeed. Siya Kolisi Springbok openside Kolisi put in another superb performance in the 3,715 win over Argentina in Port Elizabeth on Saturday, and is developing into the key man for Alistair Coetzee. Siya Kolisi was outstanding for South Africa in his hometown of Port Elizabeth, having enjoyed a supreme summer test series with France. The 26-year-old backed that up in the victory over the Pumas in his hometown with a first-class performance. In tandem with Jacko Kriel, Kolisi ruled the breakdown and earned several penalties with textbook jackals. Defensively he was strong again, while his power carrying got South Africa over the gain line almost every time he was in possession. He chipped in with a deserved try at a critical moment in the match, finishing a flowing move with 14 minutes to go to put South Africa back into a commanding position to go on and win it. Kolisi went over for a deserved try against Argentina on Saturday more than his excellent individual display. However, it was clear over the weekend that Kolisi is developing into a central leader for this Springbok side. He is noticeably very popular with his teammates, and his passion and enthusiasm for the team, combined with a controlled aggression, shone through at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. Kurtley Beale Australia suffered a rough loss on Saturday, but a shining light in the defeat was the performance of Kurtley Beale on his return. Kurtley Beale threatened the All Blacks with ball in hand on Saturday before the weekend. Beale had last played for Australia some 22 months ago in the 2015 World Cup final against the All Blacks, as a combination of a knee injury and his year away with Wasps kept him out of the setup. On Saturday, he was the main spark for the Wallabies and was the thrust behind their mini-Fortree revival in the second period. Beale was one of 4 second-half try scorers for the Wallabies, lining out at inside centre. Beale's pace was searing, and when he got in full swing, the All Blacks couldn't handle him. He was undoubtedly the pick of the players in gold on the pitch, going over for a marvellous intercept try himself and making several incisive darts and dangerous breaks. Having him back in the Test arena is a major plus for Michael Cheika. Emiliano Boffelli making his Rugby Championship debut on Saturday. Pumas wing Boffelli scored 1 try and made another for Argentina, as he proved he is a player with fabulous rugby intellect and one to watch for the future. Emiliano Boffelli was central in both of Argentina's tries, earmarked as a key player by Sky Sports guest Gonzalo Tse before the game with South Africa. The 22-year-old's performance was excellent. At 63, he is a physically imposing back, and his performance in Port Elizabeth illuminated his strength in the air, hard work and quickness over the ground. Highlights of South Africa's 3,715 Rugby Championship victory over Argentina in Port Elizabeth. His grubber kick-through on the counter-attack for Martin Landerho's try was not only great vision but technically glorious, while he later finished well in the corner with a try his impressive performance merited. In his previous 2 Test caps against England in June, he scored a try in each, meaning he is yet to feature in a Test match without scoring. Can he keep that going in Salta next week? Damian McKenzie, a classy and skillful operator. You would not have guessed Damian McKenzie was making his first Rugby Championship start for the All Blacks on Saturday. Damian McKenzie shone on his first Rugby Championship start for the All Blacks at fullback of New Zealand's 8 tries. The fullback scored 1 and had a direct impact on 2 others. The 22-year-old made piercing breaks in the build-up to scores for Squire and Ryan Crotty, and was on the shoulder of iron to stride home in his maiden Test try early in the second half. McKenzie showed a relentless work rate and energy in the victory, and time and again displayed his near-unstoppable acceleration, exploding off the mark past and between tackles. Rugby Championship highlights of New Zealand's 5,434 victory over Australia in Sydney. A rapid and elusive runner, he does continue to make some minor mistakes and take the wrong option at times, but with Jordie Barrett out for the season with a shoulder injury and Ben Smith about to embark on a sabbatical after the return match in Dunedin next week, one suspects we will be seeing a lot more of McKenzie this championship. He may have notched his first Test try against the Wallabies, but it certainly won't be his last.